Education under fire. BC is not the only place where education is front and center in the news these days. For ideological and religious reasons, the Iranian government is denying the Baha'i youths in that land their right to education. Members of the Baha'i faith here on the Sandwich Peninsula are attempting to draw our community's attention to this persecution. In Iran, all Baha'i students who wish to begin university are denied education of any kind unless they agree to deny their faith, which they refuse to do. Beyond the goal of encouraging specific action in order to resolve the present policies in Iran, the Baha'i communities on the peninsula are also encouraging conversations on university campuses and within communities around the peninsula in order to raise awareness of and shine a light on the importance of defending Article 26 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which guarantees education as an inalienable right of every human being. The Government of Canada continues its long-standing policy of support by presenting resolutions at the United Nations General Assembly in which denial of education is specifically mentioned. There has also been attention paid to this issue in both parliamentary and Senate committees on human rights in the past few months. In order to garner support in applying pressure on the Iranian government to mitigate the present policy of denying proper education to minorities, the worldwide Baha'i community has, in cooperation with Amnesty International, produced a powerful 30-minute documentary movie entitled Education Under Fire. The documentary film, which first premiered at Columbia University on October 28, 2011, is now being presented in over 150 locations across North America. It has received stellar support from two Nobel Peace Prize winners, Desmond Tutu and President José Ramos Horta of East Timor. Since its release, thousands of students, as concerned citizens, have been engaged in sharing Education Under Fire with numerous presidents of universities, deans, chairs of departments, and professors. After having viewed the documentary, these leaders of thought and education have themselves begun speaking out in support of the campaign.
I guess when you get right down to it, what we're trying to do is help the world to know that the Baha'is are one of the minorities in Iran that have no recourse whatsoever when it comes to mitigating the issue of education. And so we're asking the world to take up our plight. Just about 100% of the people who have had the opportunity to view Education Under Fire end up encouraging their friends to view the film too and to speak out on behalf of universal education for every human being. And you know, I always promised myself not to stand by silently when others were being persecuted. When I was a kid and I read the story about Anne Frank, I promised myself that if I ever lived in that kind of a day, that I would have stood up, that I would stand up and make known what was happening. Just like back then, when the people stood up and made known what was happening to the Jews.
A special public viewing of the 30-minute documentary entitled Education Under Fire is to be presented at the Mary Winspear Centre in Sidney on Wednesday, May 16th at 7:30 p.m. Doors open at 7. This event is open to all and there is no cost involved. Detailed information about this outstanding documentary, Education Under Fire, can be found on the website at www.educationunderfire.com.